So the mainstream media and the neoliberals are all in a frenzy about Joe Biden. Joe Biden this, Joe Biden that. As Joe Biden fundraisers are popping up, Joe Biden has announced that he is going to vet Amy Klobuchar for his vice president. And there's a columnist who says that she would vote for Joe Biden basically if he did anything, it wouldn't matter. He would still get her vote. Let's just start with the VP real quick. So, yeah, I think it makes sense that Biden would choose Klobuchar. It's the same thing that Hillary Clinton did, and arguably Biden is Hillary Clinton 2.0. Amy Klobuchar is, she's stale toast. I mean, she is the political representative of a white wall. There's nothing there. She's not exciting, doesn't come up with any plans. The only thing that she can really do is she can win Minnesota. And the centrists like her quite a bit. In fact, many conservatives in the Hill actually like Amy Klobuchar. So it makes sense on one hand. Personally, I think it's a stupid move. Only because if you were trying to unite the party, and Joe Biden is really worried about getting the progressive vote, he would probably choose someone a little bit more progressive. But he also did kind of pigeonhole himself by saying that without a doubt he was going to pick a female VP. So to go back on that would make him look kind of weak as well, or if nothing else, unplanned. But I kind of expected the Amy Klobuchar, and strategically, I think it's dumb. But as a progressive, I'm actually happy about it because we can still argue that the Biden administration doesn't represent progressives. And when they are doing things like invading other countries, continued war, tax cuts for the rich, we can still say that's not our representatives. That's neolibs. That's not us. Now, the fundraising. There is a lot of Joe Biden fundraising going on. And a lot of it is harmless. Some of it, I think, is noteworthy. Namely, Whoopi Goldberg from The View has announced that she is doing a big fundraiser for Joe Biden. And, look, Whoopi Goldberg has had issues with Joe Biden. In fact, one of the funniest things that I can think of is how much Whoopi has shown loyalty to Joe Biden, to the extent that she said that Jill Biden should be the Attorney General the Surgeon General, because of what a great doctor she is. And for some of you who don't know, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, Dr. Jill Biden is an educator. She has no experience in medical science at all. But needless to say, on The View, Whoopi was so enamored with Joe Biden, she just threw this out. That Joe Biden would make an excellent Surgeon General. I'll play that clip real quick so you can hear that.
When Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General, his wife. Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think she's a teacher, but might be good for Betsy DeVos.
That's my favorite. She'd be a hell of a doctor. Well, she's a teacher. Fantastic. And look, there's other things that show inconsistencies with Whoopi Goldberg. And it kind of goes back to who she is. I wish we would have known this during the primaries. Here's just a quick clip of her interviewing Bernie Sanders.
Watching to see what you were going to do. And I'm told that you intend to stay in this race for president because you believe there is a path to victory. I want to know what that path is, because this feels a little bit like it did when you didn't come out when Hillary Clinton was clearly the person folks were going for. So can you explain why you're still in the race and what this path is that you see?
Well, one of the reasons, that's not quite accurate. I worked as hard as I could to for Hillary Clinton. But the reason there is a path
Bernie,
victory.
just so we're clear, you worked for Hillary, but it took you a very, very long time to hop in, and your people also. It took a very long time for them to hop in. So when I say that, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I don't accept that characterization, but the point is, people have a right.
Why are you still in the race?
People have a right. Last I heard, people in a democracy have a right to vote, and they have a right to vote for the agenda that they think can work for America.
So if you watch that entire interview, she badgered Bernie Sanders about why he was still in the race. Why is he still against Joe Biden? He should drop out. He's only hurting the party. It was awful. And at the time, it was pretty much neck and neck. It wasn't a race that was over. And there again, it'd have been nice if we would have known that this person, who, yes, she's on The View, but they have a lot of political people in and out of that show. And as much as it comes to dismay, they still have a lot of influence as well. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Millions of people watch that dumb show. And again, if we would have known, oh, hey, she has a bias towards Joe Biden, great. At least we would have some kind of knowledge of why she decides to pander to one candidate and pretty much bash the other one. But that's not it for Joe Biden. As columnist Katha Pollitt, and I hope I'm saying that right, it's a very weird name, Kathapolitt. Katha Pollitt? I'm not exactly sure that's her name. Anyway, she wrote an article yesterday talking about how even if she found out that Joe Biden did fully sexually assault Tara Reade, she would vote for him. She went as far as to say that even if Joe Biden boiled babies and ate them, she would still vote for him. What does that say about the neo-lib, the average Democrat now? The amount that they're willing to strip away. And mind you, these are the same people who laughed at the Republicans and said, oh, Fox News says it, those people just believe it. Oh, anything Trump says, they follow. They mocked them. They mocked the right wing for being sheeple and having no brain for themselves and only doing what Sean Hannity and Donald Trump say. And rightfully so. There was a lot of people who follow that. But now, it looks like they found their own Donald Trump in the vein of Joe Biden, who not only could he rape a woman, he could eat babies and probably, yes, shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, and they would still vote for him. Now, furthermore, and I find this to be a little bit more interesting and something that I think should be talked about. I haven't even seen Fox News or OAN talk about this. Even as far as America First or Alex Jones, none of these people have talked about it. But do you guys remember a prosecutor by the name of Andrew Weissman? And again, would not blame you if you didn't. But Andrew Weissman was the prosecutor who was in charge of the Mueller case. Yes, Andrew Weissman was the one who was overseeing Russiagate. He is now doing a fundraiser, a fireside chat with Joe Biden to raise money. I don't believe that this could be any more scripted in Trump's favor, honestly. You mean the guy who was responsible for putting the pieces in place to handle looking into Russiagate is now fundraising for Joe Biden? And no one's talking about it. Look, if if this was Hillary Clinton being investigated on our emails, and the prosecutor of such case was then fundraising for Trump, this would be huge. This would be the biggest story, and people would be offended left and right. But instead, I find one person, a conservative, talking about this story. I don't hear a lot of people talk about, as I remember, legacy media freaking out about Trump saying that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and people would still vote for him. I don't hear people talk about how disgusting it is when Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson or Fox News in general would kowtow to Trump. I don't hear those same voices. When Whoopi Goldberg all but embarrassingly placates to Joe Biden. When a columnist says that she would vote for Biden if he ate babies. But even more so, I don't hear people talking about corruption when a lead prosecutor in a case against the President of the United States is now fundraising for his adversary. This is something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be brought to more light than just some 36-year-old douchebag in his basement and Sagar from The Hill. More people need to be talking about it because it is the scope of injustice in America. Anyway, I'm really curious what you guys think about that story. I know there's a lot in there, and for all the Biden fans, there was a whole bunch of Biden. It's only going to get worse, which is so depressing.